Well, this is a cheap thrill. In 60 seconds, one of my favorite people, one of my great friends in life, Mark DeCarlo, will join me to talk about the convention and his attendance at the convention. But first, Mark's going to join me for this. Mark, this coming New Year's Eve, and this could well be my final two shows. One of them is going to be at the Rouse Center in Crystal Lake, a stage that you know well.
Rouse Center. They've named a center after things dogs say when they're irritated.
Yes. No, Rau, Raue. This is a center. Isn't this the center where you did Tootsie, a one-man show? Wasn't that where you did it?
I did. Yeah. I toured the country with that, and it was more of a tribute, one-man tribute to Tootsie, but the candy, not the movie.
I just love the way you combined your love of dressing as a woman with the ability to put on an entertaining show as a man.
Yeah, I was dragged when still Big Daddy Don Garlitz was in the business, Steve. I'm a trailblazer. How about that? 3 people that listen to this show will know who that was.
Yeah, that's quite a reference. It reminds me a little bit of Trump referencing his own beauty, his personal physical beauty, by bringing up Sophia Loren and Elizabeth Taylor. Ooh, cutting edge, Donnie. Cutting edge. Cutting edge. All right, so the reason I bring this up is because you travel.
Beautiful woman.
You travel all over the world.
I do.
Regularly, and you travel over the country, and you know these great regional theaters are crucial to their communities.
Mm-hmm.
But they also, honestly, I've never seen anybody do it better than the Row. They've got this summer education program where our friend John DeCarlo teaches people about stand-up. Mm-hmm. They teach people acting. They teach people how to audition, teach people all of that. Great kids programs and stuff, but then they do big shows.
Mm-hmm. And yours.
And ours. Now, you've known me long enough to remember New Year's Eve for people that can't stay awake until midnight. That was the original premise. And this is New Year's Eve for people that can't stay awake until dinner. So we're doing 2 shows on New Year's Eve. The first one is really important. It's at the Row. And again, this could be my last time on stage. You don't know.
We don't know. It could be.
It could be. So it's at 2:00 at the Row, or as Tim Conway once said to me, that's a reference people may know. As Tim Conway once said to me when he looked at the notes of his show with Harvey Korman, Harvey, we're not dead yet. So yes, 2:00 in the afternoon, but it's great. People seem to love it, and I'm looking forward to it. So here's how you get tickets.
Yeah, but if people fall asleep at your 2:00 show, you know you're really not funny. I mean, if they fall asleep at midnight, they've been drinking all day, you could probably process that in your mind. Oh, I'm still on the cutting edge of humor. But if the front row is snoring at 2:15, you're
not wrong. You're not wrong. And the other part of that is I skipped one of the levels that we had. We also had New Year's Eve for people that couldn't stay awake to their last dose of meds. Because that was the interim. But this is New Year's Eve for people that can't stay awake until dinner. RouseCenter.org, RAUEcenter.org. Call the box office, 815-356-9212. That's the Rouse Center. We'll see you. Happy New Year.
Who's going to be on the show with you?
Let's see. There'll be John DeCarlo and Tim Becker. Oh, and Rocky Laporte. Rocky's hilarious.
He is very funny.
Yeah, and me.
Well, that sounds like a fantastic lineup.
I was leaving room and post for them to put crickets in right after I said me. Again, RouseCenter.org. It's Mark DeCarlo, my pal, a Chicago boy who grew up and went to LA and never came home. Now, look, sure, there's trouble with the family. But he does come in regularly, and he is in for the Democratic National Convention. Now, people don't know this about you because they see you and they go, he's pretty. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got that nice hair. He's pretty. Beautiful. I don't think he's very smart. And normally I'd back them up. But I'm here to tell the truth. I'm here to tell the truth in a time when the truth doesn't matter. You're very smart. You're very politically savvy. You're very aware of what's going on. You're very in tune of what's going on. You're one of the last hopes to save America.
True.
But getting invited to the DNC when you're not a regular working member of the media, whatever that means, I mean, how the hell did that happen?
You know what? It's all shrouded in mystery. I can't really divulge any specific details, but I have friends in very high places, and sometimes, things fall into people's laps.
Yes.
And a friend of mine a while back, a couple of weeks ago, said, "Hey, I have an extra ticket to the DNC. We're going to be in a VIP box. Do you want to go?" And of course, the first thing I did was look at the Cubs schedule and realized, yes, they'll be in town.
Wow,
So
perfect.
I made sure to hit a Cubs game yesterday where they lost. My Aunt Rose, who worked for Pan Am for 33 years, had her annual Pan Am reunion picnic. So I went to that with her.
That's nice. That's nice.
Fantastic. And one of the guys that was there, turns out, was a National Guardsman on duty during the 1968 convention.
Oh, you're kidding.
And he told me some wild stories about stuff that happened there. And I realized, you know what? This is one way or another, it's a historical event. And to have the access that I think I'm going to have for the week, it was just something I didn't want to pass up. It's approaching it from they're putting on a show, essentially. The Republicans put on their show. This is the Democrats' show. A friend of mine is directing the entire thing. So from a showcraft point of view, I'm curious to see how it works.
Well,
and I want to hear what people say.
And the thing is, Kid Rock causing a lot of middle-aged white people to dance in Milwaukee may have been my favorite thing I've seen all year, because they didn't know what to do with him and they were yelling and all sorts of stuff. Hulk Hogan ripping off his shirt.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, this was your Republican National Convention show. The Democrats actually have celebrities. They actually have big name stars and folks that are coming through. And along with the fact that during the week, both Clintons and I don't think Roger will be there, but both Clintons and both Obamas, and obviously President Biden are going to be there, as well as Kamala Harris and Tim Walz make their case to convince America that they're the ones. Now, we can't say whose VIP box you're in, but I have a list of the VIP boxes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So you could just say yes or no in regards to any of these. Jerry Reinsdorf, the legendary owner of the White Sox and the Bulls. Are you in?
I don't want to get any of that White Sox stink on me, so no.
Yeah, so bad is that team.
How can you be that good? They had so many. How can you be that good with Luis Robert Jr. on your team?
Well, they're just, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. What do they do to anger baseball god?
I think they drank too much Falstaff back in the 80s. And the beer hangover there is too much. That's got to change.
I tell you what, I feel badly for them because in particular, you can't go 40 and 122 and not have that be a problem. I know what you're saying, Steve. That's a crazy, outrageous statement. But 40 and 122, there are little league teams that would go, I'm not playing anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine what that locker room is like. I mean, not the naked part. I'm sure that's where you went right off the bat. I'm just saying just the vibe in the locker room. It can't be a pleasant place to play as a professional. It would be like having a radio show and every day someone's screaming, no one's listening to your show.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Are you speaking about why I was fired the 11th time recently? Is that what you're talking about?
No. And you know what? If you get fired the 13th time, the 14th one's free.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So,
I was told if I get to 18, I'm in a clown suit and they hit me in the nose, I get a free game. But I didn't know about the 14. That's cool.
Maybe if you did a show in a dunk tank.
Well, but you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because this is not sort of necessarily name dropping. This is event dropping. Over the course of our ridiculous careers, we've gotten to do a lot of cool things.
We really have.
A lot of them are unexpected, right? They're things that just pop up. For instance,
it's because we're in showbiz.
So let's play just a quick game of cool thing tennis. I'll serve.
Okay.
I sang on stage with Prince.
A Prince or the Prince?
The one that mattered, the little purple fella.
What did you sing with him?
It was background with him on Purple Rain and a bunch of other people. So when I say I sang, I stood there, I waved my arms and went, purple rain, waving your hands back and forth. On stage, man, on stage.
In the musical vein, when I was doing Windy City Live, I got to spend an entire day with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Blues Hall of Famer Buddy Guy. And we were in a Cadillac SUV, And we were driven all over the city of Chicago, and he showed me where all the old blues clubs were from the 50s and 60s. The 708 Club, right there. That's where I met Muddy Waters. This club over here, that's where Junior Wells pulled a knife on his mother-in-law and stabbed her in a boot.
Come on.
And this is where I'd get my gumbo. And from place to place, he had a little pig amp in the back, and I'm sitting next to him. And I'm like, buddy, play a little Messing with the Kid. And he would just play that. And then he would play something else. It was like having a Hall of Fame jukebox, and we just talked all day. And
tell everybody
that night.
Please tell everybody that he's a nice guy. He's a good guy.
Oh, no, he's not a nice guy. He's a fantastically nice guy. He loves Chicago. He was born in Louisiana, in Lettsville, and came to Chicago after World War II during the big boom. And all he had was a guitar and like $37. Started playing guitar in clubs. He met Muddy Waters. Muddy helped him getting into bands and getting a record contract. And he stayed here and helped put Chicago blues on the map. And in 2 notes, you listen to it and oh, that's Buddy Guy. He's in 2 notes, it's B.B. King. 2 notes, it's Derek Crux. He was.
And recently, this, he's 88 years old. Recently, as in this summer of 2024, he said, I think it might be time to slow it down a little bit. He's 88. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, he's not touring anymore. I think he's going to be playing maybe one-offs and playing in his club. But it was just me and Buddy driving around Chicago talking blues and listening to music. It was pretty spectacular.
All right. So as this volley continues, I emceed the International Special Olympics opening ceremonies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Warren Beatty and several other stars, and found myself backstage, obviously, where 2 cool things happened. One was Schwarzenegger came up to me and said, "Nice job, Steve." And then he poked me in the stomach and he goes, "Nice bicep." And then we're back in the green room with Warren Beatty, and there's a lovely woman there who I did not know. But Warren Beatty is standing next to me, and as 2 guys would, he looks at me and he goes, right? Like, are you noticing? And I said, yeah, she's with me. He goes, oh, sorry, man. And it was a moment I couldn't get rid of, so I acted like it was true. So, yeah, so there you go. International Special Olympics MC. And by the way, in front of 50,000 people.
Wow. I did comedy at the MGM Grand Superdome in Vegas, 25,000 people for a McDonald's event opening for Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I don't know if you've ever done stand-up in a room. It's an oval room, and the stage was at one end, 25,000 people. I'd tell a joke, and just the delay, the laugh would start at the back of the room, and it would roll to the front, and it slows you down. It
very
really
difficult.
threw off my
very difficult to get the
timing.
rhythm.
Right.
I opened for Cher 2 nights. I opened for Cher. We're at the heart of her 80s heat, right? So she's huge.
Uh-huh.
And we hit it off, and she loved me. And at one point, and when you're facing the crowd, you have a sense that something else might be going on when the crowd starts going bananas. Mm-hmm. At one point, prior to her coming out, she comes out on stage with one of her headpieces. And she goes to put it on my head. And the crowd's going crazy. And she gives me a little peck on the cheek and leans into the mic, and she goes, I knew it wouldn't fucking fit. Fantastic night.
Cher making fun of your big head.
Yeah, tremendous.
Wow.
Tremendous. All right, so obviously we've had fun. So I'm looking at the list of the VIP boxes here. Are you in Oprah's box?
No.
Right, and by the way, nice job ignoring how I set that up.
That was a 16-inch softball right there.
Yeah, it was for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, I did not know he'd be there. Slim Whitman. Are you in Slim Whitman's box? Legendary crooner.
I can visit Slim's box, but I will not be staying the bulk of my time there, because once he starts yodeling, I won't be able to hear the speeches. I'll be in Boxcar Willie's box.
See, that was also on the list. I do have one more here, though. Phil, the guy that drives the Zamboni for the Blackhawks, apparently got a box. Are you in his box?
I unfortunately am not. I've never ridden a Zamboni. I'd love to ride the Zamboni at the UC during a game. So if you could
Well, if you
pull some strings with your buddies.
I'll tell you, my Netflix documentary, Ride the Wild Zamboni. Oh, the corners are crazy. All right, so we can't actually say now. We're going to be able to reveal this hopefully if you come back later in the week, but
Possibly, yes.
We can't necessarily reveal this, but it is someone everybody knows.
I'll be posting videos and things on my Instagram.
Yeah, where?
Which is
where?
DeCarlo TV on the Instagram. Okay. I actually have no idea what to expect. I just know that there's a lot of things going on, and it's important for our country. And I'm curious to see what the Democrats, what their plans are to move the country forward. We know what the Republicans' plans are, and I'd like to hear the Democrats' plans and compare and contrast the two.
Well, that's very open-minded of you. I will say this because I'm not open-minded or fair-minded. No, I shouldn't say that. I am fair-minded. But I'm not open-minded about this. I believe this is the exact opposite of the 2016 election. Hillary Clinton was the most qualified person to ever run for the White House, period. She and H.W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, who ran the CIA, served in Congress, was the vice president. She and H.W. and was combat veteran and a fine baseball player. She and H.W. Had qualifications that were through the roof. But this irrational hatred of Hillary Clinton meant that she lost and by the way, a terrible campaign. She ran a terrible campaign. She listened to fools that told her not to go to the swing states at the end, all of those things. Donald Trump did not win in 2016. She lost. It's the old sports analogy. All right, in 2020, obviously Biden blew him out of the water. Mm-hmm. So I'm here to tell you, Donald Trump has never won an election, ever.
No.
And that's why this is the exact opposite of 16. This isn't about whether or not Kamala Harris can do the job. We don't know if she can do the job. And frankly, neither does she. It's important to hear what she says, what she stands for, and how you feel about her and Tim Walz. But this is about keeping Donald Trump out of the White House for 4 more years when he's got nothing to lose and except in a lot to win in his world by getting out of facing justice the way he should. Mm-hmm. So this is about Donald Trump. And this is about people saying, I cannot abide 4 more years of Donald Trump in the same way they said, I'm not going to vote for Hillary Clinton, except this time it's not irrational.
I would agree with you generally. I think me personally, I think character matters, right? When I was a little kid, the thing was you could grow up to be president, and baked into that concept was you'd be a heroic bringer of justice and fairness and prosperity to the country. And based on his record, I don't think Donald Trump is concerned about the country. He's concerned about himself. And I think he declared early this election season so that as the wheels of justice started to crush him, he could say, oh, you're going after a political component. Justice is justice. If you do the crime, you got to be able to do the time. And I think he's running to stay out of prison. And you know what? The sad thing is, if enough Americans agree and put him in the White House, he will stay out of prison. And then that's the country that we have. I was just in Europe for 3 weeks, and people would, once they realized we were Americans, would start talking to us about politics. And he's not well regarded across the places in Europe where we were. I think the standing in the world, our standing in the world has gone up in the last 4 years. I think the economy's doing well. I think there's something to be said just for the character of the person in the Oval Office, someone who's generous and truly seems to care about uplifting every American instead of just the ones that are rich enough to throw money at them.
Turnout kills, and lack of turnout kills harder. You got to vote. You got to vote. And even for people who go, look, I'm sorry, man, I cannot vote for president. I cannot pick her. I don't know if she's ready. I'm certainly not going to pick him. Here's why you have to vote. And by the way, I would actively and desperately encourage you to vote for president. But if you don't vote for president, you still have to vote because Congress affects your life more every single day. And the House and the Senate are both up for grabs. And that determines what direction this country will go in as well.
Right. And if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Yeah. Don't bitch. Don't vote. Don't bitch. That's it.
And there are people, people in the armed services have been fighting and dying for this country for 240 years, and that secures our life, liberty, and our pursuit of happiness. And all you have to do is wake up on that Tuesday morning and go vote. You don't even have to go out of your house. You can mail in your votes now. But
Right.
it's the least you can do to inform yourself. I think that's really the problem, is being informed now, because there's so much money to be made in tribalism. You know, this is my news source.
Sure.
This is your news source. Back in the day, Walter Cronkite would say the news, and people generally believed everything he said, because everything he said was vetted by a bunch of reporters and editors, and it was fact-checked lawyers before it was put on the air. Now anybody could say anything, and it goes on the internet, and people with a vested interest amplify it, and then people start believing it. And that's the problem. I think every time you read a news story, regardless of your political bent, the first thing you should check is who wrote it? Where did it come from? And if it comes from a reputable news source, go ahead and read it. If it comes from a BS news source, don't waste your time.
Well, I think that's a fine example of what I meant. So, see, I told you it was smart.
Yeah,
Are you in Cody Parkey's? Are you in Cody Parkey's box, the double doink Bears kicker? The Bears kicker who had the double doink.
Deny that. No, I cannot. I cannot confirm or deny that. There's a lot of boxes, Steve. The entire UC is ringed with luxury boxes. I could be in any one of them. And I wonder if my credential will allow me to be in any one of them. I don't even know. I have not done this yet. This is my first political thing.
Those people pay a lot for those boxes. I don't think you just wander in and out and try their
food.
Can't just
I think waltz in and say, "Where's the?"
It's a terrible idea.
Oh, is there free food and drinks there? Do you think?
Oh yeah. And wait till you see the dessert cart. Yeah. And I just avoided something that would have gotten you into trouble. You know, it's funny. It's funny when a thought explodes in your head and you go, stop.
No, I saw it on your face. And thank you for exercising that self-control.
Well, I'm excited for you. Don't throw anything out of the box.
No, I'm going to be on my TSA best behavior.
Yes. Don't take your shirt off and have something, written on your chest that you want to, that you want to promote. That's not a great idea. Just
my
be the grown up.
I can't promote my muffin business.
No.
Amera muffins?
Yes. No, that's not a great idea.
Demo croissant?
But I'm a little bit envious, but I'm thrilled that you're able to do this.
Well, you're a media personality. Could you not have gotten a credential if you so choose?
Nah, parking's tough. Yeah, parking.
I am worried about how to get there. I don't know how I'm going to get to the facility. It's going to be interesting. But, even with the protests that people are planning, it's the messy gumbo of democracy. And I think if people are nonviolent, that's the hallmark of this country. You can stand up on a soapbox and spew your deal. And if you make enough sense, enough people will listen to you. And if you don't, they'll tell you that you're a jagoff and to shut the hell up.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, jagoff is a regular political word. It's on Political Jeopardy.
In Chicago, yes.
Yes. Mark DeCarlo, everybody. Instagram again, where?
Mark DeCarlo TV. I think I'll start posting today or tomorrow. I don't know what the VIP situation is inside, but I'm going to be doing some stuff. Not sure what.
And if you're not nominated and have to campaign immediately, will you come back later in the week?
Yes. I mean, if there's a fight, if there's a brawl, and the party cannot come up with a candidate, I will toss my hat into the ring. I think I'd be an excellent president.
Yeah, I do too. And I would be your press secretary, but I can't afford the pay cut. So, but I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate the offer that you didn't make. It's Mark DeCarlo, and anytime you want to see everything Mark's up to, just follow you on Instagram, I guess, huh?
TV on Instagrams. What's your Instagram, Steve? Do you have one?
I have one. Of course I do. It's either Cochran Show or Steve Cochran Show. I forget these things. I'm 6 months older than you.
Yes, you are. And you sound like it.
Yeah, it's when the old voice starts to crater. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for doing this. We'll talk to you later in the week.
All right. Good talking to you, buddy. Have a good summer, and I will report back once I can. America, let's do it.
Mark DeCarlo, I love him. And as time allows and as security allows, we will check back with him and see what happened at the convention from his luxury box with a VIP that cannot be named at this time. Well, we couldn't do this special show without having special guests. And we couldn't get that guest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you former President Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, how are you?
That's President Trump, Cochran. President Trump, thank you. Your most indestructible president ever. Did you know my ear is regenerating? It's regenerating at a rate the likes of which have never been known before. That's because I'm superhuman. Superhuman. I have super hearing. Super hearing. It's like I got bit by the spider like Peter Parker, and I have Trumpy senses now. You know, I know you've never accepted that I was elected fair and square by the fine Department of Election Interference in Russia.
No.
But it happened, Cochran. It happened. And it's about to happen again. Just wait and see. See.
I dozed off halfway through that. But before we get to the convention, because we got to talk about that, I want to start with J.D. Vance. Any regrets on choosing J.D. Vance?
No. Outside of the fact that we aren't allowed to campaign within 100 yards of a furniture store. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, that's probably not appropriate.
Look, I never take advice from my idiot son, Eric, but Don Jr. gets credit for this one, okay?
So Don Jr. is the one that wanted you to pick J.D.
I thought I was picking Jr. You know, they look alike, don't they? I thought I was picking Jr. And that way we could keep Trump in the White House for years to come.
So you would support Jr. taking the job of president?
Oh, don't be an idiot, Cochran. If Jr. were president, he'd listen to me. Unlike that fiance of his, Kimberly Gargoyle. Okay? Got to get his vision checked. What the hell was that all about?
We can agree on some things. All right, if not JD, I'm going to give you a mulligan. Who would you choose if you didn't pick JD?
Oh, now you're talking. Trump loves mulligans. And I still might change it up. You know, so many greats love Trump. They love Trump. We could go with Kid Rock. You know, we love the rappers. We got Scott Baio. He's a great actor.
Oh, isn't he?
Or how about Hulk Hogan? Can you smell what the Hulk is cooking?
I don't think that's right, sir. I don't know much about wrestling, but that doesn't seem right.
And also, beautiful Amber Rose could be a great VP. And I'd invite her to more meetings. That I can tell you.
I bet you would. But that's a thing. I mean, right there, VPs don't get to do anything.
Again, Cochran, you're wrong. Mike Pence is working for me here at Mar-a-Lago.
Sir, I heard my name. How can I help?
Feels like a KFC Monday, Pence. Go fetch me one of their fill-up buckets. That's 8 pieces of original recipe, 12 tenders, 4 biscuits, and 2 large mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh, what about the coleslaw, sir?
Well, that's for you. I don't want you to go hungry. See, just more of my generosity, Cochran.
You really are a giver. No question.
Uh-huh. Oh, I totally am.
Did I hear you say Kentucky? What can I do for you, Mr. President?
Oh, is that Senator Mitch McConnell?
Oh, yeah. He works for me part-time as a Mar-a-Lago greeter. Yeah, don't need him, but he sure needs Trump. All fine, Mitch. Take the rest of the day off. Go get some sun. Your turtle jowls are so white.
Yes, Mr. President. I'm headed back to D.C. now to block more legislation that'll help people and do good.
Nice work, Mitch. Keep it up.
Look, I got to be honest with you, sir. You seem to be right in the sweet spot of who I know you to be, former President Trump. We're a little short on time to talk about the convention.
Oh, what's there to talk about? I'm sure it'll be a disaster with Kamala. Now, Kamalama Ding Dong. I sure as hell hope they turn off her microphone if she starts cackle laughing.
Here's what we'll do. Since we don't have any time now, I'll have you back in the future.
Oh, lucky me. I'm sure I'll come up with a beautiful excuse to get out of appearing on your low-rated podcast.
Hopefully it'll be just about as glitchy as that interview you did with Elon Musk, huh?
Okay, wait a minute, Cochran. Look, I didn't go on X for me. I did it as a favor to Elon, okay, because I'm very generous. He reached out to me and he said, "Oh, President Trump, I have a struggling social media platform, not like Truth Social, the greatest social media platform of all time. The stock price is through the roof, by the way." But anyway, Elon was like, "President Trump, you're a more successful billionaire. Please help me out. Please." He was begging me with tears in his eyes, Cochran. Tears. Sure. And you know how I hate to see a billionaire beg. So I said yes. And so we go on X, the two of us, and we had lots of people. No, really, you had millions and billions of people trying to get on X at the same time to see me. That's what the glitch was for. But it was too much for them. They had a tremendous glitch.
I dozed off halfway through that one, too. Listen, I know you're going to do it anyway, so let's get it out of the way before we say goodbye. You love the nicknames. You have any other nicknames for Kamala Harris?
Oh, yes, I do. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris. Oh, we do Kamala Toe. The beautiful Kamala Toe. What do you think of that one?
I don't think that's one you should run with. A long rant of an excuse reminds me of the old saying, sir. When you're explaining, you're losing.
Hey,
Goodbye,
it takes
Mr.
one
Trump.
to know one. It takes one to know one, loser. Later, loser.
Well, I think we've done just about enough on this special edition of Live from My Office. The Live from My Office quickie from the convention. And we're not actually at the convention. I don't want to mislead you. I'm still in my office. Of course, this show's not really live. It's just a big pile of dishonesty. But speaking of Trump, I hope you enjoyed that call. And I hope you enjoyed my friend Mark DeCarlo. Check out the show notes for more on both. In the meantime, we'll see you next time. And coming up on Live from My Office, current and former Congress members on the situation we're in. And, we'll wrap up the convention and kick it into the final 2 months of the campaign and see how big a tantrum Trump is throwing by then. This is always sponsored by my good friends at the Rouse Center for the Performing Arts. More on them in just a moment. But big thanks, of course, to Ross Cochran, executive producer of Live from My Office. This wouldn't be live, dead, or anything in between from my office if it wasn't for Ross. Thank you, buddy. And we'll see you next time on Live from My Office.
"30 years plus on the airwaves, you have turned your dial to me. Now you're tuned into my podcast. It's Live from My Office, Steve. From Ithaca, New York to Carolina South, W. Cochran, Steve. From Minneapolis and then Chicago twice, top-rated shows achieved. Sit back, relax, and now listen to my show, when or wherever you are, 'cause you're on the go. A-list celebs with some laughs and great info, live from my office, the Steve Cochran Podcast Show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No better place to be. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Subscribe and like for free. Yeah. Live from my office, Steve. So glad you're with me. It's Live from my office, Steve.
Thank you for listening to Live from My Office, a service of Monkey Run Productions. All rights reserved. The podcast is hosted by Steve Cochran, and it's mixed, edited, and produced by me, Ross Cochran. Steve is available for corporate speaking gigs. He would love to MC your event, and occasionally, he's funny. Thank you for listening. Head to cochranshow.com for more.
And as always, thank you to our good friends at the Rouse Center for the Performing Arts. The Rouse Center is one of the great Chicago theaters. And wherever you live, anywhere there is a theater that deserves your support. The Rouse Center for the Arts in Crystal Lake, a good piece north of the city, is on William Street in downtown Crystal Lake. It's beautiful. And it's just one of the great theaters and the great theater efforts that goes on all the time. They have shows, and the schedule coming up is tremendous. Check out the monthly Lucy's comedy, stand-up comedy, the Green Room Improv, the Teacher's Lounge comedy that's coming up. Check out your opportunity to learn how to be a stand-up from my pal John DeCause. And don't forget about our New Year's Eve show as well. And if you love great, well, I don't even know how to describe David Sedaris. If you don't know who David Sedaris is, you should. But David Sedaris is coming live in October, and he is well worth the trip and the effort as well, as are we. 2:00 on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve for people that can't stay awake until dinner. That's our 2:00 New Year's Eve show, and we hope you'll be there for that as well. And, of course, the Rouse Center has summer classes still remaining and into the fall as well, not just for the cost, but the School for the Arts is always a way for you to scratch that itch that you should be on stage. At the bare minimum, it'll teach you how to be better at whatever it is you do in life. 815-356-9212, 815-356-9212. That's the box office. Thank you for the continued support of Live from My Office to the Rouse Center. RouseCenter.org to get your tickets for New Year's Eve or any of their other great shows.